Hello everybody, welcome to Sonat Institute. Today I wanted to talk about one of the most critical and important topic in our life, which is called potential. And specifically I wanted to focus on the trap of your potential. The trap of your potential. In life there are some questions not easy to get the proper answer. Sometimes it takes days or years or very long time to find out the exact answer of such questions in our life. Such questions are very critical for our journey on earth and the words to search until we get it. Let's compare as introduction here. For example, let's take coal and a diamond. Both are carbon based materials, exactly the same materials, but one is very cheap, another one is very expensive. When you get coal, it is formed from highly impure carbon that often contains different type of elements like oxygen, selenium, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur. Everything is just there. Because of that reason, because of its impurity, even though it's the same carbon-based materials, it is not that expensive. When you take a diamond, on the other hand, it is requires a very pure source of carbon. Tiny little defects on that particular diamond, on that particular carbon-based materials, can cause the diamond different change colors or unstable. Because of that reason, diamond is very expensive. Understanding your potential is searching a life key which is made from diamond, which requires very careful thought. So you need to carefully walk, you need to carefully understand the source of your potential. You need to understand the trap of your potential. For today's lesson, we are focusing only on the trap of your potential. Now let's start from defining the definition, the meaning of potential or ability. It is reserved power, untapped strength, unused success, hidden talent, capped capacity. That's what potential or ability. That's what we are trying to. What is the trap of your power, which is already hidden in this young age of your life? What are those untapped strengths but already trapped by something? What are your unused success inside of you, deep inside, which is implanted by God but has not been revealed yet? On the other hand, it is in very dangerous situation by different type of traps. Throughout these lessons, we're trying to search what is your hidden talent, what are your capacities, what type of uncapped or hidden capacity you have, which you need to focus and you need to exercise. Today we will focus on 5 traps that work against your ability, 5 traps which work against your potential, 5 traps which damage your reserved power, damage your untapped strength, damage with unused success. You never used it, but unfortunate that it's going to be damaged before even you started to use. To understand your potential more clearly on this today lesson, I wanted to go to in the Bible, the book of Matthew, chapter 25. Chapter 25 of the book of Matthew is known by different type of parables. Now on chapter 25, starting from verse 14, it says the parable of the talents. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country who called his own servants, underline the word own, and delivered his goods, underline that one too, his good, to them. He has his own servants, he owned them, and then he has the goods, the materials, what he's going to distribute is belonging to the master. And that he willing to distribute for these 3 servants in this section according to his own will. And the one of he gave 5 talents, to another one 2, and then another one 1 talent. So he gave the first guy, he gave the first servant 5 talent, the second one 2 talent, and the third one 1 talent. That's the distribution starting from verse 14. That's what you see. Now here in the Bible it says he gave these 5, 2, and the 1 according to his own ability, and immediately he went onto the journey. Now, in this case, a talent is a unit of money measurement. Now, the number is here and there, little bit difference, depends on different version of the Bible, but generally speaking, 1 talent is equivalent to about $1,200 for this time currency. In application of this parable, talent as a life resource, for example, talent as a money, talents as different type of abilities, talent as for authority, for someone who's in the authority position. Talent is something you have it, you own it, and then you want to use it or you're going to lose it. So in this section, now the last servant received only 1 talent. So you should understand that it's not just a small amount. Now 1 servant received 1 talent, yet we should see that this was not a small amount. On this story, the master gave the money to 3 servants with 3 privileges. The first one, he gave the money according to his ability. Number 2, he gave each of the servant enough time. And then he gave for each servant a fertile land, a fertile place, a place where they can be able to invest easily, freely. He gave them these 3 important privileges. Now, when you see in this section, starting from verse 16, these 3 servants, they received the money and they started to invest in different ways. Now, the first one who went there and then started to invest. The second one, who had only 2 talents, also went outside and started to invest. Strangely, the third one, who received 1 talent, did completely different story. Now, in this section, the first one I want you to focus here is that it says they went and trade. They went and trade. This implies direct action. The first, the 5 talent, the second 2 talent guy, they went outside and they trade. It requires direct action. Shortage, problem, and difficulty, these are not your enemy. Especially young people, these are not your enemy. Your enemy is yourself. Doing nothing is number 1 enemy for this generation. Not using advantage of your resources, such as your family, your time, your health, is your enemy. Doing nothing is number 1 enemy for your future success. Doing nothing is number 1 enemy for the trap of your future life. Likewise, he who had received only 1 talent, he went outside, he dug in the ground, and then he hid his Lord's money. He did not want to invest. So the third servant did almost nothing with his master's money. He's not trustworthy. His master's money, and his master gave that 1 talent, or equivalent to say $1,200, based on his ability. He took some care of it so that he's not going to lose it by hiding it, but he did nothing positive with his master money, especially in contrast with the 5 and the 2 servants. Now, starting from verse 19, the tension of this story getting to be on the climax. Here it says, after a long time, the master of the servants returned and settled account with them. Now, he gave them enough time to invest, but after a long time, their master come back. And then this long time, the long delay, would attempt the servants to think that they would never give an account for their management. Yet they most certainly would. Which means now, they can relax. My master is outside. They know for sure that he's not going to come back anytime soon. He's going to take a long time. So it's time to relax. It's time to, we have long time. We have extra amount of time. Like some of you guys say, I am young. This is my time to relax. This is my time to have fun. This is my time to just doing different things, experimenting different things. When you say spirituality, when you say Christ Jesus, I will get that one later. This is not time. Hey, how do you know that you're going to stay here for long? What guarantee you have you're going to be here for 70, 40, or 80 years? Who told you that? Who told you that? When your master comes, what material, what resource you going to just present for your master? In life here, in life earth, God already gave you different type of talents, different type of materials. How are you investing on it? How are you using it? What are you doing with your master's money? What are you doing with your master's health? What are you doing with your master's brain? What are you doing with your master's skill? What are you doing, you boys and girls, with your master's resource? What are you doing? Very, very tough questions. You need to have the answer. You need to have the answer for yourself. Your parents will not answer for you. Your teachers will not answer for you. Certainly, I cannot answer for you. There is no answer with anywhere else. You yourself will find the answer. What are you doing with the master's money? What are you doing with the material you already have it on your hand? Life in planet Earth, your life is non-renewable. You cannot replace it. You cannot replace yesterday. You cannot replace your 10th birthday. You cannot replace your 12, 13, 14 birthday. You cannot replace it. You cannot replace it. It's gone. It's gone. Unfortunately, most of we are not using our life wisely. Your age, your family, you cannot replace your family, boys and girls. If you lose once your family, you lose your family. You're going to stay with your family with the average of 18 years. After 18 years, you own by your own. If you are not taking care of your family, your parents, your mom and your dad. Now listen carefully. If you are arrogant enough for your parents, you're going to be arrogant enough when you go to outside of the world. And that the world will challenge you. They are not tolerate you like your mom and dad. You need to fix your character. You need to fix your attitude and move forward. God gave you that talent. God gave you that resource. How are you using with that resource? And guess what? God gave you your family and waited for 18 years. Long time. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Until you get to 18 years. You cannot you be able to learn? Cannot be able to fix yourself within this all these years? Can't you be able to at least get the knowledge and be wise and then move forward with your family? That is number one talent. Most teenagers are losing it. Most teenagers are abusing it, misusing it. Where are you stand with this position now? So some students now, your school, they are not taking it seriously. Where I come from, Brother Sami was sharing you guys last times, where I come from, where we parents come from, we are fighting, we are competing like 500, 600, 1,000 people, students are fighting for 1 or 2 seats of university or college. Here you all have it, no child left behind type of mentality. You have all the resources, you have all the books, you have all these helpers. It's amazing, overwhelming amount of resources you have. You have your own, what you call consultants or advisors at the school. You have your own different type of groups which are going to help you in different ways. But unfortunately, some kids are not using advantage of it. Guys, don't take anything for granted. Don't ever don't take your family for granted. Don't take your school for granted. Listen, don't take your health for granted. Don't take your health for granted. Don't take your peace, what you have it right now, is for granted. Everything God given, all these resources and the materials, talents are non-renewable. Remember now, the 3 most important gifts we have is that God gave us talents based on our capacity. God gave us more than enough time to work on with that capacity or with that talent. And the third one, God gave us fertile land, fertile environment, fertile resources, fertile area to use our talents. You don't have any excuse, guys. When it comes to problems, we all have problems. When it comes to different type of challenge and the difficulty, everybody has challenge and difficulty. Challenge and the difficulty never, ever stop people's progress. So try to find out what talent you have. What are the resources? What are the blessings God provided for you in daily, day-to-day life of your journey? Now, when the master started to settle the account with these 3 servants, the one who had 5 and the 2, talent, they both get some type of rewards. Now, it is not about you go to Ivy League universities or another college or this type of private college or public schools. It does not matter. What matters is that in that particular location, what are you doing? It does not matter where you come from. What matters is that what are you doing after you came, wherever you come from. It does not matter what you had before. The question is that what are you doing with what you have right now? After a long journey, you got to settle the account with your master. Unless you start to work right now, you're not going to make it tomorrow. Definitely not ever. Some people think when they grow, they change. That is wrong. You're not going to change when you grow. You're going to be exactly the same who you are right now, and then the same of you will be the bigger picture when you grow, when you are bigger. Only just a little bit of your personality change. If you are a hard worker, according to your talent, according to your capacity right now, you're going to be hard worker when you grow. It says, then he who had received the one talent came, the third one, the last one, and the master judged each of the servant individually. Listen carefully, this is very important things. Now, if you take in general, there are 5 plus 2 plus 1, it's going to be 8 talents, right? 8 talents. Now, out of this 8 talent was given, and then 15 talents was returned. It's a benefit, it's a good profit, isn't it? But the master did not count that way. Yet each one was judged on their individual faithfulness and effort. This is lifetime lesson for most of you guys. Individually, God gave us different talent. Individually, my talent is completely different from all of you, and that you all individually get different type of talents. Brothers and sisters, siblings, different cousins, uncle, everybody gets different talents, different amount according to our capacity. And that the master gave us fertile land, don't forget it, very fertile land to invest. He gave us enough time, and he gave us according to our capacity, according to our ability to invest. Now, because of that reason, that the one who received only one talent when he came, the master did not say, okay, good job, because generally overall I already benefited. I gave you 8 and then I received now a 15. That's not the way it works. So remember that. In the day of judgment, the account must be personal, especially I have to mention here. Now, I'm expecting and I'm assuming, I pray you all accept Christ Jesus as your personal Savior. The Lord of your life, the King of your life, the Master of your life has to be Jesus Christ. And then when we get to heaven or hell, if you are not accepting Christ Jesus, now the judgment is accounts according to your deed, or it's going to be count in personal. God will not ask you from which church come from, which program you've been attending, so what are the spiritual quality of your parents, or how many times do they pray for you. It does not matter all this. What matters is that your own account, you started to be answered for the question what God gave to you. God called you, God created you, you are in this planet Earth. What you're doing in your life matters, boys and girls. It matters. Now, the major problem of the third man was he has a corrupted attitude. His attitude against his master. I'm getting to the final part, or the critical part of my lesson here. His number one problem was he has a corrupted attitude toward his master. The situation himself was completely wrong. His expectation was completely wrong. Here are the 5 traps of your life which hid your success, which damage your future, which crash and collapse your ability, your power, your potential. Here are the 5 most critical traps of your life, from the lesson of the third man who received one talent and then do nothing. The first one is his attitude was corrupted. It's, oh my gosh, literally he was insulting his master. I knew you had been a hard man, reaping where you have not been sown. You are greedy master. You just taking people's money for no reason, because nobody heaven and earth is just saying that to his or her master. The second one is that he blames others for his failure. Looks like some of us here. He blames for others for his failure. The third one is that he does not understand his priorities and the goals. What is the priority? What is the mission his master gave? He does not understand. He has clueless. He's focusing on different aspects or different part of his life. And then number 4, he did not think himself as a profitable servant. Okay, he did not think that himself like there is something I can do in my life, there is something I can invest this talent and then do something better for the community, for the society, for my master. He did not think that way. And then the 5th one is that he have a fear of risk and the failure. Let me repeat this 5 point here for you. The first one, his attitude was corrupted. The second one, he blames others for his failures. The third one, he does not understand his priority goals in his life. And the number 4, he did not think himself as a profitable servant. And then the last one is that he have a fear of risk and the failure. He doesn't want to fail. He doesn't want to take a risk. It sounds like some of you here. Now, he doesn't want to do anything. He think, I'm worthy. I mean nothing. My one talent, that amount of money, whether I just invest or not, it does not add up anything on my master's resource or capital, because my master is extremely rich. And then the one who has 5, and then 2, and then 10, and then others will invest, and then that's more than enough. So my master doesn't need me. What I have, that means nothing. Exactly like some people think like I'm nothing. Whether I work or not for the community, there are a lot of people who's working hard. That should be enough. Come on. And then I can't do anything compared to X and the Y and the Z. They have this type of education, this type of resource, this type of materials. Compared to them, I mean I'm just a simple person. What are you going to do within the simplest here? That is the excuse people give. When you ask them to volunteer, when you ask them to give, when you ask them to help, when you ask them to do something in their life, they say, there's nothing much I can do. But that's not true. Think yourself as a profitable servant. That's very critical. And then they have a fear to take risk because they don't want to fail. The servant who merely buried his talent tried to excuse himself because his master's graced power. It's kind of very silly excuse, extremely silly excuse. Nothing to do with his investment, nothing to do with his work. Whether his master is greedy or bad guy, or even if the master is exactly the way this slave mentioned. Nothing to do with his investment right now. Guess what? Regardless of his master character or who his master is or was, this servant has been living in that house, has been getting the budget from that master for many years. Now, all of the sudden, when he get responsibility, started to blame. All of the sudden, when he get this, just long time journey responsibility, he started to say, I'm not worthy. All of the sudden, he started to say, well, my master doesn't deserve it. Make sure you do something good in your life, and start now. Don't say tomorrow. Tomorrow never come. Tomorrow never come. Some say I can do very little on my ability. It will not make much of difference if I do nothing. So I shall not be missed. So my tiny push is not needed to turn the scale. Well, in what sense are you saying that? I am a teenager, whether I work or not, I serve at church or not, I do it here and there. If I contribute X amount of money, it means nothing. It means nothing. In what scale? My time is limited. Come on. I'm not like, so and so. I'm not old enough. I'm not grown. I don't have a relaxed amount of time. Because of that reason, leave me alone. Well, in what scale? In what scale, brothers and sisters? it is true that your action may not change the entire world, or the entire country or entire village. You may not be able to change the entire village within your action, but for sure you can be able to change at least 1% soul, 1% life, 1% activity. I have quite a lot of teenagers in this group, which I'm greatly proud and appreciate with their deeds and their actions. These teenagers, what they're doing is that they volunteer their time to help other teenagers or other students, elementary students, high school students, for tutoring. So when another person has a struggle and has difficulty with their educations, they jump in, they filling in. We have different type of special needs students, and then they, even though they don't have the skill set to teach those type of students, they volunteer. They said they are willing to try, they're willing to take, they're not afraid to take risk. They're not saying, okay, I'm a student, I don't know much, and then my action make not any difference. Of course your action may not make a difference in a village level, but your action certainly make a difference in individual level. So do action, do something in your life. Don't fool yourself by saying I can do very little. Don't fool yourself by saying I will not make any difference. Of course you can make a difference. Don't say that I shall not be missed. You will really greatly be missed because of your missing from one, filling the places. A lot of things you could have doing is now vacant, empty. In academic setting, some fool people said, if God exists, why this happened and this happened? If God exists, now leave alone God and just focus on your own business. That everything, what we call that, why this happened, what this happened, it's happened because of our wickedness. It happens because we are not jumping and take part in this contribution to fix the environment, to fix the situation, to fix every type of social, economic, political, you name it, type of aspects in this society, in the community. So what are your difficulties? What are you going to do? How are you going to tackle? Just because there are some type of struggle, some type of failure in your life, it does not mean you're going to stay there forever. Get up and walk, get up and move forward, get up and do something in your life. The very unfortunate part is that the third master, the third servant, he seemed proud of himself, as if he did a lot of things. He seemed to have no idea how much he disappointed his master. He has no even idea. He has no clue what he's doing. He was doing nothing for his master. He did not think himself as a profitable servant. Many of you guys here who's sitting on your resources, fear of fail and bury your talents. If you have to fail forward, guys. If you have to fail on God. If you have to fail forward and then move forward. Don't fail backward. Now, because of you feeling, to try something, I met a young boy. He's a teenager and he's 11th grade. And then when we discuss about education, he's a really bright, good student. And then he said to me that I don't want to go engineering because that's number one, which I encourage him. And then I say, okay, so do you want to try computer, maybe engineering? The first one is civil, mechanical, electrical. He's really good at math and physics. He said, I don't think so. So what are you doing then? He say, this is really funny. He say, I'll try something small. I'll try something small. I say, why? Why? How's your GPA? He has 3.8 something to 4 point throughout his high school life. So why you wanted to try something small? I asked him why. He said, I don't want to fail. Oh my gosh, failing is the part of your life. Why are you fearing fail? I'm telling you that throughout all my life, I failed a million times. I really failed. One thing which maybe I'm really good at is just failing. I really failed many times. I've been failing, I'm failing now, and I'm sure that I'm going to fail to the future too. Every time when you fail, you get up and move forward. Okay? Now, don't be afraid to take a risk. If there is something in front of you, if there is something there which you can grab and then change your life, change the community, change something, do something. Don't scare to fail. Failing is the part of success, the part of your journey. Just face it. Don't afraid to being a failure. So because of this, the third servant's talk and the action, the master was not happy. One thing you need to take from here is that the majesty of the master never exhausted the laziness of the servant. Just because your masters are majesty, just because your masters is generous, it does not make you a better person. It does not make you a better person. Just because your parents, your mommy and the daddy working hard, it does not make it does not, I guarantee you guys, I really guarantee you, not trusting me this, it does not make you a good person. Because your parents are investing on you, it does not make you a better person. The only thing which make you a better person, that understand and know your master, and then do something on your own talent. Especially on this age, you are already grown. Don't tell me that I will do when I grow. Just surprise, you all already grown. If you are in this group, if you are in this class, in this Zoom meeting now, you already are grown. You are teenagers. So do something in your life. You are living in very fertile land. You are living in America. It does not guarantee you success life in future. It does not guarantee you be healthy life into futures. You can eat junk and then get sick, or you can be just healthy, choose your food and then be healthy. It does not guarantee you everything. The curse and the blessing is out on your hand. It's just everywhere you go, you choose which one you choose. That's what it determines in your life. Nobody expect you to do like me. Nobody expect me to do like somebody else. Everybody has her own talent, her own ability, capacity. The question is that what are you doing on your own talent? Nobody expects you to do like your teachers or your professor or your mom and dad. But what are you doing on your talent? What are you doing on your time? That's the precious, the most expensive money or amount thing God gave us is time. What are you doing on your time? How are you investing your time now? Well, now you are not investing wise. You are just spending with different type of unnecessary relaxation, playing games and doing here and there. And then when you grow, you start to pay back. You will not get all these precious golden times you are wasting right now when you are grow. It's obvious that the third master, one of his problem is that he don't have proper respect for his master. He was extremely disrespectful. He did not obey. Especially, remember, back then we are talking this master and a slave. Literally, he was a slave. And he has no respect whatsoever for his master. We don't know why it happens. Maybe he's extremely fearful person. He doesn't want to take risk and he doesn't want to lose that one talent when his master come. He doesn't want to be in trouble. But generally, he doesn't want to do anything. He just hid it there and then sit and relax long time until his master come back. Some of you don't want to walk by your own because of the fear of tomorrow, the fear of unknown, the fear of some unexistence, the fear of something. You don't want to do some stuff. You don't want to move forward because there is something you fear, but you don't know what it is. You don't know the consequences are. You don't know what's going to be happen, but you fear it. Because of that reason, you hid your talent and you just sit down. You have different type of skill set. You don't want to experiment. You don't want to study. You don't want to take a test. You don't want to do this and that. You don't want to go school. You don't want to do many things. You don't want to exercise. You don't want to practice. You don't want anything because you don't want to fail. You don't want to have happen something. This is very dangerous, which maybe requires some prayers to be removed from you. You need to take risk. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the part of success. Now, generally, the moral behind the book of Matthew 25, there are different type of parables here. Is that, in the large context, the main point of this parable is clear that our readiness for Jesus' returns is determined by the stewardship of our resources that He has given us. But now here I am applying this talent with different type of resources what God gave you, what God already gave to you. Now different talents like money or time, health, your different resources, your family, your school, your education, you name it. All these are counted. All these are a talent which God gave you. Now let's summarize the five traps of our ability, the five trap of our success, the five basic trap which going to damage your life unless and otherwise you wake up and avoid it. Now the first one is the trap of corrupted attitude. We will come back next time about just only the topic of attitude, but now as a nutshell, now think about any corrupted attitude, the attitude you have toward your masters, toward God especially, and the attitude you have toward those who provide resource for you, your parent. Fix your attitude, you boys and girls. Unless and otherwise you want to damage your future life, fix your attitude. It does not mean your parents are perfect. It does not mean your parents are doing great. No. Parents make a lot of mess. But regardless, fix your attitude. That is not your judgment. That is not your action call. Now the second trap is that the trap of blaming others for your failure. If you are blaming other people because of your fail, well, because of he pulled me, she pushed me, he do this one to me, because of that happens, because I did not get resource, if you are blaming other for your failure, that is number one trap. Nobody will help you to get up. Nobody help you to get up. Because you are just putting those traps, or different type of the traps around your neck, around your leg, around your hand, around your every part of your body, so that you cannot get up. So you're doing it that you're damaging your life. Stop blaming others. Everybody has his or her own problem. Parents have a problem, adults have a problem, children have a problem, you have a problem. We all have different type of problem. Get up and walk. The third trap, what we learned from here, that the trap which don't understanding your priority and goals. Many of you guys, God gave you a good golden opportunity, different type of settings. Now it's up to you, play 10 hours and do your work within the remaining hours, or it's up to you, do your work first, do the hard thing first, and then when you have time, relax and play. It's up to you. What is your goals? What are your priorities in life? What are your priorities every single day? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What are your priorities in January, February, March, April, May? What are your priorities when you are 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22? What are your priorities on this particular fire age? The age which you can do anything you want. The age which you can choose whatever you want. You can mingle around the priorities. Nobody will be just policing you. You can do anything you want. But what are your priorities? The fourth one we learn from this lesson is that the trap of thinking as an unprofitable servant. Now I worth nothing. My absence mean nothing. Nobody just count me. If I do or not, it does not make a difference in the society. If I do or not, it does not make a difference in my family. That is really bad trap. If I walk now, if I clean up my room or not, it does not make a difference. It's mean nothing. There is something, you see one dish somewhere there in the dishwasher, you did not wash it, because you say, if wash it or not, it does not make any difference within my parents. Who told you that? The tiny little gestures will go a very long mile. Your family and your siblings, your brothers and the sisters. Are you saying, okay, I'm unprofitable servant, it means nothing, and you just sit and relax? I really encourage you, please get up. Please get up and do something in your life. Your action speaks louder than your words. Everybody know that? So unless and otherwise you look at and then do action on it, do something, it means nothing. It means nothing. Don't kill your future, boys and girls. So this is the thing of unprofitable servant is number one danger for this generation. Now the last one is the fifth trap of your talent, the fifth trap of your future is that the trap of extreme fear. I will call this one afraid of fail. Afraid of fail. Now you don't want to take a risk because you don't want to fail. You don't want to try something here and there because you don't want to fail. Here's the reason. Because you think that if you fail, that's end of the world. If you fail, that is it. If you fail, there's no other opportunity for you. If you fail, that's all you have. But that's not true. That's not true. If you fail, you get up and then you move forward. If you fail, at least you learn a lesson. You learn a lesson in life. At least you learn a lesson in life that you don't repeat the same mistake again, and then you move forward. Don't play a game on your life, boys and girls. Please, please, please. You have precious time. You have very, very limited amount of time in planet Earth. You have limited amount of time just being a teenager. Some of you, after 2 years, you're not going to be a teenager anymore. Surprise, surprise. Some of you are not going to be a teenager after a year. 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, you're not going to be a teenager anymore. You're going to be adult. You're going to be 20s. You started to be just counting, and then age will be count like crazy. Being a teenager is not a lifetime guarantee things. It's being a teenager is only 4 years of guarantee. Being a teenager is not a lifetime guarantee. Being a teenager is only a 7 years guarantee, 13 to 19. And then you're done. Adios. Done. That's it. So, because you are a teenager, don't fear to take some actions. Don't fear risk. If there is something worth, you know that you can do it. You know that you can able to make it. You know that that is for you. You pray about it. You think about it. You consult your family or your mentors. And then if you know that it is yours, it's worth to try. It's worth to try. Just because you try, you lose nothing. You lose nothing. Life is full of choices. Your success or failure depends on determined with your choice. What are you choosing? And then the trap of thinking as an unprofitable servant, that is another challenge, another trap for these generations. And then the trap of fear of failures. These are the very critical part which you need to focus. If there's anything here, you need to fix yourself. Now, let's pray together, and then we're going to wrap it up today.